what do you want people to understand about the Calabash from the point of view of the Maasai?
The tool that we can use to preserve our food for our culture. This is the type of the calabash that I was talking about. They will be decorated. You saw that was they have the rope that are rounded on it on this neck, but we cannot use ropes. We use beads that was put on a string and then make it together like this one I mentioned on my head, and then we cycle it in the bead, and we just have the same different colors.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Today, we are going to be talking about the Maasai culture. Of course, you would have know something about the Maasai culture in Africa. It's a very popular culture. At least many people that travel to Africa, they want to explore this culture. Whether you are going towards Tanzania, Kenya, and in many other countries in the eastern part of the continent, it's a culture that is very popular because of a peculiar way of life and all of that. So this is what we're going to be exploring today. We have talked about it before in the past, but there are still an important, culture is usually deep. It's not something that you can talk about just in one day and able to grab the whole essence of it. So I have a Maasai person today who's going to be exploring this cultural dynamics with me. So my name is Obehi Ewan. For the case this is your first time here, this is Obehi Podcast. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm in Nigeria and I live in Italy. I'm very proud of being in Nigeria. I'm very proud of being an African. So this is why we are here talking about African culture, different facets of African culture, because we believe that it's our duty to celebrate our culture and also to help people to understand why we are celebrating our culture, what are the value, what are the key components of our way of life. So today we are going to be talking about the Maasai culture. So Patel, could you please tell the people who you are? Let's start it from there.
Thank you. My name is Mzee Patel. I'm a Tanzanian citizen, and I'm an owner of Nimbuli Safari Tours. I'm a tour operator in this country. Yes, we are in this industry of tourism, and we are connected with Obehi, with the Diaspora community. The way to drive this transformation of knowledge, information, and the culture too, so that we can be together and we can drive together and we learn together and come as a community, the way the Diaspora's tenants condition and also the policy saying. So, yeah, that it is. What am I doing?
All right. Thank you so much, Patel. I appreciate that. Of course, the other day we were here talking about different aspects of the Maasai culture. Now today we are here again. And like I was saying in
Yeah,
the intro, we can never finish to talk about our culture, our heritage. We can't even pretend to say everything in just one sitting because it's not a textbook. This is a culture that have been here for thousands of years. They definitely do have the inner art of it, the different components, the different dynamics in it. So, as a Maasai person, first let's start with the post that I made a couple of days ago, where you saw the Calabash, and that actually touched you in a way. You say you wanted to say something about it. Let's pick it from there. What do you want people to understand about the Calabash from the point of view of the Maasai culture?
okay. On once we talk about the perspective of the Calabash, as we in our culture, that it is the tool. And what is we say the tool? It is something we use in different ways on our culture. So I can categorize the calabash on several categories. It will be 2 or 3 categories of separation, but each category has its own meaning and on how has perspective and also respect according to our culture. So calabash on a regular way we use as that it is our fridge. It is a tool that we can use to preserve our food for our culture. Because once you go to our culture history, we still up now, we are categorized in several ways. We have elders, we have warriors, and we have the generation which is going to the position of being elders. So on the end, we have women, grandmoms, and mid-range or mid-part women, that is our wives and all of that stuff. So once you come to talk about the calabash on this beginning strategy, we use something that we keep our food, and we have our type of food that we use calabash to keep it so that it can be warm and can be cool. And for the time that we're just going to use, it will be like the same other culture that will just be using the fridge or certain containers to put to store their food. So on a Maasai culture, in the regular way, we use calabash to store a certain type of food that we can take clones and then drain, crush them, we remove the skin, and then after remove the skin, we cook it by using water, regular water, and then after being ready, we take the fermented milk and then we mix it together. And then after we mix it, we let it cool. And then once it cool, we start to prepare our calabash. The calabash will be prepared by using you wash firstly, and then after you wash, we take the like I said, a tree that it is like it has a certain fragrance, that a good essence of it, it will make the food that we're just going to put in there to be having a certain smell that will just be attractive. So we burn, we start fire, and then we start fire, we put that wood, and then once start to get fire, we take that wood that already get fire, and then we blow air so that the fire lightning turn off, and then we put into that calabash, and then we start to cycle it in so that that essence will cycle in that calabash, and then we close it for just few seconds, and then we open again. We take again that wood again into fire. We repeat that process several times, like 3 times, 4 times. And who doing this? It is women. And then after that, the food is ready. We take the calabash that's already prepared, and we put that mixture of fermented milk and corn that also uh, cooked it, and then we put there. And then we go to keep to somewhere that it is cool. That food will just be cool the same way. It cannot be frozen, but we just have that taste in that of the cool food that will just be drink and give you the certain kind of taste of the food which it is cool. That is one way we use calabash. But at the same times, we don't use mostly cups to provide food to our elders. We use calabash. Women put like milk, they put milk into those calabash and then they provide to elders. That is the way, a respective way to uh, give the elders the food. And according to our culture, we have different homes. So we also come to the generation like elders have their house. Once you come to the warriors, they have their house. The grandma, they have their house. So we just going to have several uh, calabash that we're just going to keep our food because we don't have that back and forth cooking. Like you just have to cook lunch, you have to cook a dinner and all of that stuff. Sometimes we just have one time cooking. It was just maybe a daytime, and then the daytime we just go toward up to the evening. We just keep some, and then we go their way. So if we that type of food, it is known by our culture, loshoro. If it was cooked there afternoon, we just eat an afternoon, and then we can just continue to eat at the night time. So what we used to keep it so that it cannot go bad and we protect it from the flying germs and all of that stuff and different type of stuff. That's what we do. It is calabash. And other way to that we use it was for it because we are pastoralists. With the others, it's like you just going hiking and all of that stuff. So we don't have that type of activities. We're going to keep our animals, cows, goats, sheep. So what we use as an elegant, it was for other cultures, we just going, for example, hiking or any other activities, walking outside, you put water into your nail gel and all of that stuff. So we use calabash. We take a calabash, setting not a big type, a small type of bead, and then decorate it by using beads. And then we can just create a handle by using animal skins. And then from there, we put, instead of water, we put milk, or we go far. Sometimes we use animal blood, but we use with the fermented milk, and then we mix together, and then we just use it to go with it for places that we are going to keep our for grassing our animals like cows, sheep, and all of that stuff. So that's what we use at daytime if we are thirsty or you feel hungry. That's what we use, that calabash. So that it is another way of community-wise we use calabash. But we go far on the other sense of calabash. There are the other side, which it is spiritual way. Spiritual way, it is wide a little bit and it is sensitive. And to talk about this spiritual way, I'm not trying to commend or condemn somebody belief and all of that. This is something different cultures are using, and it is known worldwide, but how it's being used, it is different. So, on our culture, once come to the way we use calabash spiritually, there's a lot of categories, but I can try to categorize in different ways while we're just having this flow. Firstly, the calabash is the symbol of respect to our spirit, because we believe in the spirit. And the people just say, like for example, your family member was dead. How we believe that once somebody dead in our culture, death is just coming back as the spirit. And for some time, a way to remember those who are dead and talk if we have the problems in a family or we have a certain happiness, I mean joy, celebration. Calabash is a part of that to remember them. It is the tool to go toward their faces, toward having a conversation with them. That is how we do by using calabash. How that can just be done. For example, we have the spiritual celebration or ceremony. The elders who is leading that ceremony will just be using a small calabash like the one that you posted within your post. That will just be already prepared with the spiritual person. And to you, Obehi, on your culture, so like once I say a spiritual leader, it is like when you are on Nigeria, they call Ifa. I don't know if I'm right by mentioning that. At that time, yeah, Ifa people, they use it. But we, how it will be ours is different. We decorate that with a different type of colors of beads according to how we are paying respect to our spirit. Uh, we have uh, red color, we have the white color, and we have uh, a black color. That are the color that of beads was put it in a string and then put it together to be like something like this, and then we put it on a rounded on a, and we call a neck of that calabash rounding there. And then after that, sometimes we can have a certain kind of cow shell from cow shell. It was something like this, like this. We cover together around this calabash. It's a small type of calabash. And then from there, now the leader will just have to start to lead. And from there too, we will have the chair. The chair which was made by wood, but we can decorate that chair by using a certain animal skin. I cannot mention here, but it is an animal skin. It might be the wild animal or it is the animal that we keep our home. And then after being decorated by using the skin for the time before the leader starts, he will sit on the chair. And after a while, he's just sitting on the chair, start to connect himself with an realm of the spirituality. And then while starting to do that, all the gathering will just be there because I mentioned before, if it is a ceremonial gathering. And then while sitting there is holding on a hand, but not every hand. Hands has a meaning once it comes to in a spiritual way. I mean, once you just say hand, there are the people who are being occupied or controlled by the spirit. And that spirit, it depends which side is coming from, because we have the mother side and the father side. And we consider the different spirit that is coming from left side, they are coming on the mother side. You owning a spirit that is guiding you as you coming from your mother side, if it is coming on the left side. But if it is coming on the right side, that spirit that is leading you, protecting you, helping you wherever on how you're praying and things that you're praying coming toward your face, it's coming on the left side, mean you they are coming from, the spirit is coming from the side of your parent, I mean your father. That's how you get categorized. So you can detect that on how the side of that elder holding that calabash before starting the meeting or that ceremony, or to open a full process of that ceremony. So from there, on that calabash, what it is in there, that calabash, it is not empty. That calabash has a mixture of a lot of uh, medicine. I mean, it might be roots, it might be leaves, it might be stems, and also just mix it with the animal's part, and the way the requirement spiritual guided that person who is the leader of that ceremony to have all of that. And then that how can just be, it cannot just be the dry leaf put it there. There is a process of preparing those herbs. It is, if there is other, they can just be burned and be ashes and then be put it there. And there are others we just use blender, but in a local way we don't use blender. We have a local way to grind or to make into powder our herbs so that can be mixed within that that calabash. And then from there we use honey. Honey. It might be we have the big bee honey and small bee honey. It depends on how that leader to the spirit guided him to come up as the helper of the society. So once we mix it together, all of that, but this process cannot just prepare right there. That will just be already prepared, and that is the process of that person how he just be doing all activities since the starting day, also starting time of his life of spirituality. So for the time now starting the that process of healing or opening a ceremony, we have to milk. Milk will just be in another separate color, but that will not be the same with the one that is holding. It will just be the one, the regular one, that will just be the same like the one that we just be taking to go to while we are grassing our animals. We put water, we put milk, or committed milk mixed with blood and all of that. But that will just be the type of milk of a cow. And that cow will just is supposed to be when once there, not supposed to have twice there, only two. And then that milk, we just be put it at that calabash and then put it aside. And then from there, we just see, before starting the process, there is a special chair made by wood too. So there is the one that is sitting with and the another one that will just be there. And then you just put down there. There is a special grass. We believe in nature. Once you are a spiritual person, nature, it is something that is connecting a realm of spirituality and the human being. So we use grass for our prayers during any process. So you take those milk, you pour a little bit on the chair, because that chair we just have in a certain way that will just be collecting a little bit. And then we put the milk. And then once we put the milk, we take those grass. small pieces, like it has a certain category of numbers. We just if it is 2 or 4, something like that. It will just be the divided up on number, like 2, 4, and all of that stuff. So you put there, and then you put that milk together
All
there.
right.
And then
I've got
we
some
can
few things
prepare.
to ask you there. Thank you so much for this sharing. This is really very beautiful. This is rich. This is rich. Now, of course, there are a few things I'm going to ask you because you did make mention of the medicine with the calabash. That is going to be important for us to understand. But first, I want to show you, of course, while you were talking, I was featuring some of the pictures of calabash from Tanzania, but of course, from other parts of Africa. Now, I want to show you some of them. If you see anyone that is that relate to what you were talking about that you can explain further, let me know. Okay. So let me share some of
Okay.
them with you. All right. These are some of the calabash here that are available. Of course, I'm just
Oh, you pass it. Go down. Go
okay.
up. Go up. Yeah. Like yeah, like the
Which
one
one?
on the yes. This one at the left, it was like you start on the right. Okay, to go, you pressing on your left because your other side of me on the yes, no, not that one, no.
Okay. I missed it. Maybe.
Yes,
This
like that
one.
one. Yes,
Okay.
that
Tell us
one.
something
Yes.
about it.
Okay, this is the type of the calabash that I was talking about. They will be decorated. You saw that was they have the rope that rounded on it on this neck. But we cannot use ropes. We use beads that was put on a string and then make it together like this one I mentioned on my head. And then we cycle it in the video. And we just have the same different colors. And that it is the one the leading calabash that has a spiritual energy within it.
So
That's
what do
what
you
I'm
use
talking about.
this? What do you use this particular calabash for in Tanzania, in the Maasai and Tanzanian culture?
That is the spiritual calabash.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for that. Now, I would also like to show some other ones so that by the time you see anyone, so that people understand that what we are talking about, they are not just invention, they are actually there in real life. Sorry about that. Okay, you mean this one? This one?
No,
Oh, that. Okay,
yeah,
let me.
those which are straight, no, that it is also is a spiritual one,
This one?
but
This one?
yeah,
This one?
no,
This one? This
yes,
one?
that too, yes, but specifically you can just go to the third one. That is exactly the spiritual one we in our culture. Yes.
Okay, tell us something about it.
Okay, this it is a spiritual calabash that was designed in the different ways of protecting our heads and the different meaning. Because while we have, as before I said, you will have the leaders that they are within your brain, that your ancestors that already passed, they are within you, and we call it the spirit. And everyone will just come with the request or the need of having a way to keep those heads in a proper way where our ancestors were doing. And you are the human being with the spirit standing on you inside. You start to prepare those calabash. And then that calabash will just have different heads. And those different heads was made for the certain purpose of different type of whatever it is sickness or the certain instruction. Or it has the sometimes just be protection and all of that stuff. So all of that it is categorized on according to the meaning and it depends with the type of the head that was put within it.
All right, so I'm just showing this one from where that source actually came from. There are different calabash there actually.
Yeah, go a little bit.
Okay.
Go down. No, you're going up. I need you to go down. There is something I saw. Yeah, go down a little bit. Yes, that one.
This one?
Yes, that one. It is on how we prepare it, and there has no something to close with like an top. So we make a certain type of wood decorated a certain way, and we use it for at the top. At the same time, if we need the head that it is within inside, you don't have to pour. You have to take the top which is made with wood, and then you put inside, and then you chop the certain herb that it is within there, and then you put on a specific way you prepare for your work or your activity or the specific process that you prepare to do.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. That part of the explanation is really interesting. You were talking of the medicine. Okay, first tell me about the names of those particular calabash. Let me see if I can bring it back again.
Okay.
The name, let me see. The one that I want to show you now, I want you to tell me if you see anyone that you can explain the importance of the name, where the name is coming from, and the relevance of it. Let me see. These are also cultural. Give me a few seconds. Let me pull it out a little bit here. Is there anything that you remember here that have that can be useful either for
Okay.
yeah
You see the man holding something there. It is a little bit tiny, but I can see now.
this
Yeah,
one this one
yeah,
this one?
yeah, yeah.
Let me see. Anyway, I mean, no, I'm not going to use those images because they are owned by. Maybe we can use. Let me see. Let's look at this one. Is there anyone of relevance here that you know?
Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sure. This one. Let me pull it better for you so you can see it well. This one or this one? You mean this one?
I'm not sure. No.
This one?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Tell us more about it.
Okay. Once you come to the spirituality and the calabash too, we have two separation energy. We have the guiding spirit and we have the spirit. What is the guiding spirit and what is the spirit? The spirit it is something that origin that is coming from your ancestors, wherever your family member that already passed away, and that full chain of them, that is what we call the spirit. And once you come to say to the guiding spirit, it is a spirit that will come to join the party. It is a second party that will come to join within. And how you just come to understand the person has those different two types of the spirit. It is on how those calabash was decorated. Because only the calabash that was decorated with using beads, you can definitely detect exactly the person was only her, the ruling of the house. It is the spirit. But if you can see the person who's holding the calabash, which has beads and has cow shell, that means the person has double things, double spirit, the guiding spirit and the spirit. And I told you the spirit, it is how can, like for example, a person will just say has an you hear this a lot, the people say night husband. It was like an dream husband. You just feel like you, yes, stuff like that are showing. That's how it differentiate. For example, the person will just sleeping and feeling like has a sex, having sex with a certain person and all of that stuff. That type of spirit, we call them the guiding spirit, but they are connected on the heart, on the evil side, because then the type of the spirit that wants to get into the person start to cause trouble, and it's very jealous and don't want that person to have a progress, don't want the person to have any development because of the jealousy. And the main the spirit that the demand is saying, I will hold you because once you get your freedom, you won't need me anymore. So whatever the plan that you get to try to make, that spirit will just go ahead of you and cancel, because that spirit will just monitor your dream, your brain, every activity, and then we just go to cancel. So you don't every day you just be a cry, a bad luck person. So we call the evil spirit. So I was just put it as an example because that's what the, most of the people understand, and they call it the spiritual husband. any other way, but it is not good spirit. It is connected to the other side of good, uh, 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 evil energy.
All right, that is really an important conversation. We're going to come back to it. Okay, first, very briefly, how do you, if somebody were complaining that is having this occurrence in the night, maybe it's having this interference where the spirit are coming, how do they overcome it? Is that something usually good within the culture of Tanzania, in Tanzania, among the Maasai people? Or do you have a way of helping the individual to have a better experience in life? Or maybe, I don't know, preventing this interference with this spirit, evil spirit, or the spirit that is coming in the night to disturb him or her in the dream?
Those spirits on how they happen on human beings, they interfering a lot of things as you say, and not everyone it is a good, there is other that they're bad, because always you have to understand the good spirit don't wish you the good luck, because standing there with you are something that needs to help you have a progress, have a good luck in life, make good things, make a good progress if it's business, whatever, anything, connectivity like this we're talking, it will, you have to have something like that. But once the evil spirit interact on them, you start to have all of the bad. And what causing this, as the way you ask, it is happening on and there is people know how to create, make this.
All right. So we're going to come back to continue. Just now you were talking about the evil spirit and this interference that sometimes is coming with this, where the people are having this experience, and we were looking at what does it even mean? How do they get, I don't know, do you call it heal, or how do they, I'm trying to understand, from when do we begin to say this is a bad encounter or this is a good encounter? Why are these spirits interfering in the life of people? And when they interfere, what are the people supposed to do, looking at it from the point of view of the Maasai Tanzanian culture? Could you share something in line with that?
To go to how you detect the evil spirit and where it's from and all of that stuff. The evil spirit is the spirit that don't want you to have a progress in life. And sometimes it just be the human being, or it is something just before the other that are free on the air. So maybe you just working on your activities, but you being you attract the spirit and they start to get into you and then start to monitor you slowly until at the end of the time knowing the flow of everything. So that is the mostly way you can just detect it that I have some misunderstanding within your family. You just talk a little bit with your maybe your mother or your father or your wife or with your children, and then a conflict from nowhere appear, and then you start to fight here and there. But once you sit down and detect where this conflict comes from, you cannot get the answer. That is how you can detect it slowly that there's something going on in you. I have something wrong going on in me. It starts from dreams, because in dreams it is it is something big. But a little bit dream it is something connecting a human being with the spiritual realm. Because for the time you sleep, your brain is relaxed. But once you wake up in the morning, you feel like there is certain thing yesterday you was doing, and there is some activity yesterday you was uh, dealing with, and then from there you start to get you cannot understand, you cannot interpret your dreams. You wake up, you don't know what yesterday I was doing. There's something I was doing yesterday. I don't know what this. And then but before you sleep, you wake up, you know what you dream. And then if you fail to interpret, you will ask somebody who know about the dreams, and then will interpret the dream to you. Then it is how the difference will start, because there is before and after. After it is for the time you already attacked with the spirit, the bad evil spirit. And I told you there is a way, there is human beings, they'll call the spirit to send to you with different way and matters they have. Maybe jealousy, you have a conflict, you have misunderstanding and all of that stuff. The way of maybe like punish you, it's just to use that type of power because there is no way you have to show the evidence that somebody uses the spirit to send to me. Then your life will start to decrease slowly, slowly, slowly. And then from there, that's how you just come to detect that, yes, there is some stuff is going on. But how you understand too, the other people start to get sick. Your immunity is it's like from nowhere, you get sick. You try some medicine or pills or whatever got positive, you get here treated, and then after a certain time you continue again. That all are the signs you start to feel like there is something is not going good in my body. And then from there too, you go like maybe you're going to look for a job, and then you have all qualifications. And the other people who have the less qualification than you will just get their job and you miss that job. And then you're like, oh, you're just going to ask you for somebody some money. Hey, bro, I have a certain problem. Can you? Oh, I'm very sorry. I wish you came here around few hours. There is somebody come here and then I already have. So always it will just be the bad luck, bad luck to you. Once you see those signs, you need to sit down and look yourself what's going on in your body because there is something like that. And if you don't know, there is people know those things and there is it is another lesson to look about how you can detect it, how to read this person, and how can be treated. Because if it is a spirit that was sent by a human being, there is a way to. If it is a spirit that just attacking you for free, just attacking you according to the way you are attracted to that spirit, there is a way to treat all of them. But to come to all of that, there is steps that it is from nature, and others it was like there are some categories to just put it this way. You can mostly use herbs to treat that, but help themselves because you can go online, you can see people selling herbs, promoting different kind of. Then they have the knowledge, but you cannot treat. I'm telling you, you cannot treat a human being who got sick or attacked by a evil spirit without having the guidance of your ancestor spirit. And you have to be special. We call it this people with the dead eyes.
Tell me more. Tell me more about that third eyes. What does it mean? How does one start to get that kind of knowledge?
That eye you cannot get by learning or go to buy from somebody. No, it is you will just be born from a bloodline of the family who have that type of gift from God, of that spirit. We call it if on your tribe or in our Maasai, we have a way we call it. It is something special within your bloodline that will just be able to see, which see things with the other people they cannot be able to see. And we call it the dead eye because it was for a person who comes to you is sick. Their family, they went to hospital, they tried everything and they failed. When they come to you what you just need. There is a process of you taking a person. You need a name of that person who is sick, and you need a name of the mother side of that person, not the father side. We fathers, we don't have kids because our wives, there is a lot of up and down, are their father. If your wife will just tell you this is your child, but it's not really your child. She was cheated from you, and all of that stuff. So we consider in order to get exactly what the problem facing anybody, a woman or a man, you have to catch those two things: mother name and his name, and then from there you start to check. And worldwide on how they use it, we call those people who are checking tarot readers. Eh? Tarot, whatever is card or whatever, there are different ways to check all of that. That's how you can understand the style of the person, where they're standing, which day you're supposed to treat the person, what are the procedures you need to start it, and all of this stuff.
All right. Tell me about the training. Now, say a particular individual is identified to have this gift, because like you said, it's not something that you go to learn in school. You need to have it inborn with you as part of your family lineage. Now, this individual have been identified by the oracle, the community to have this gift. Does that individual need to undergo a training so that they can better use that gift, or does it need to do nothing? He will just be able to do what he have to do.
We, with the special people, what we do, you don't need any training, because what it is, that spirit that is within you is the one teaching you, guiding you, telling you what to do, what are the protocols you need, what type of preparation. That is what the meaning of checking. You don't have a book, you don't have a paper. What are you using? It is your brain. Just be looking at you, reading your name, and then I will know this person from where to where there is something happened to this person. That's how you can just detect if the person was detected. So that's how you get it. Yes.
All right. Now, for those individuals that have those steady eyes, we call it the third eye. Say maybe, for example, they are able to decipher, they're able to look at the situation and say, okay, this is what is wrong there. And now
Repeat
we're
your
talking
question.
about, we're looking at it from the point of view of somebody that might be having a mental health now, or maybe a problem related to health or something. But do we also have some individual that might be able to look at other things about the human being apart from just the head? Maybe like they can see the future, they can have a particular gift to be able to tap into energy that might be useful to the community. Can you say anything about that?
Yeah, it is. Once we come to the age of the people having this, what is bad for now for this community where we are not being respected because of science, and the people don't understand what it is within, because you don't need a microscope, you don't need the X-ray, you don't need anything. You read a person from A to Z, up to his stomach, whatever, and then you take what's just going on. To the society, what am I just have to advise? They have to come back to nature. They have to know where their ancestors belong to, where they from. And then from there, I think so we can just be having a better life, and we can avoid a lot of things that going in our life, because there is a lot of things happening to us.
Can you expand more on that? When you say the science don't respect your way of life, can you expand more on that? What do you mean by that? The other thing I wanted to ask you have to do with
Yeah,
the calabash, the medicine calabash or calabash of medicine. I don't know if
yeah.
you could say something more about that, because I think people might like to learn about that. I was looking around, I was seeing this particular calabash. Is that what could be seen as a calabash of medicine, something like that? Could you say anything about that?
Yes, I can see. Okay. As I said before, Calabash has a different meaning. Once you see, you can see that calabash was as an how was decorated. You can see something hanging on the other side, but this person look like he uses beads. You can have something else hanging aside, and you have something red on the other side, and also the top that he's using is the artwork that is representing something. On a spirituality, once you look something like that, what you can just see it is a small piece, or it's like small bag or something like that. It is there at the head, spiritual people create, and then once they create, they put spell on it. And then once they put spell on it, they put on the neck of the calabash. And then from the other side, I told you before, there are like in my culture, we prepare something like this, but we don't use piece of or fabric or what. We use cow beads, because we have this black beads, we have white and red. So that will just come to represent. And once you come to what is the top, which is the artwork involved in, then it is the represent or the sample or symbol of the energy that is living within that society or that community. So that's how you can identify the type of the spirit guiding on it. Because there is other, we just have artwork wood was made, you can just see the symbol of the woman was crafted at the top. and then decorated with other type of material or fabric or strings around all of that stuff. That's how you can just identify the certain tribe belong to this.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, of course, we tell also to the people that are listening to us, if there is any part of this conversation you want to expand on, please let us know so we can bring in more experts here to help us explain some of these things, because we don't know everything. That is why we are reaching out to those who know better to be able to explain to us. Because what you might see in front of you is not actually self-explanatory, though it might appear to be, but it is not. So if you have any understanding of this culture, the Tanzania culture, the Maasai culture, the use of calabash, that is what this episode has been about. You see, we show you different type of calabash, how it is used in the Maasai culture. Maybe you are curious, you want to learn more about it, you want to learn more about a particular aspect of it because you have been exposed to it. You can let us know. We can bring Patel back again to expand on that. All right, Patel. Now, people want to sort of connect with you to learn more about what you do. How can they reach out to you?
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. I'm available always, as I told you at the beginning, how we started to meet and all of that stuff. What is possible to be shared with you. I told you I don't have the limit I will share with you. But what I've just said, because the world now is upside down, and the people, they have a certain type of beliefs. And once you just bring somebody belief to start to put you separate side with this type of people, and we don't need to have a bridge on us. We need to come together because you know what you know, and I know what I know. But once come to the time we need to share what we know, then we just feel like that person is evil. That person has something belief because of our beliefs. We don't need to bring beliefs so that can separate us. Let's respect each other and let learn for each other and let find which one is true. Which way we need to follow so that exactly we can have a better life.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate this conversation and this value here. And of course, to those of you that have listened to the end of this conversation, I say thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed to the Obehi podcast, I encourage you to do so, because every now and then we bring in individual with value, with history, because here we are entirely about storytelling. We are talking about our culture, our value, our heritage, our way of life. And this is why we are bringing in different people like Patel to share with you some of these things that you might need to better understand, particularly for people of African descent and people of African diaspora, because this is culture that you might not be reading in the book. We need people that are there, that are living it as their way of life, to share with you what is happening within this area of understanding. Of course, understanding is not just one way. There are many, many ways to understand things. But in this case, we are looking at the traditional way of life, the spirituality, from the point of view of African and these traditional people, who can explain to you what they are seeing, what they are understanding, so that you can maybe pick one or two things out that might help you or help the people that you are serving. So this is what it's all about. If you know something, if you are curious about something, that is something you want to learn more about, just let us know. And remember also to share this video with other people you believe that can be of help to them. That is what we are here for. We are here to serve. And like, what is it? Like Muhammad Ali said, service to other people is the rent we pay here on earth. Let's keep serving. Let's keep adding value to other people. Thank you so much. I have a wonderful time. Thank you so much, Patel. It's been a pleasure here.